we had this rock climbing like-minded people, right? Since PCS Maitri Trekking started in 2006, right, sir? 7? 6 or 7. So post that, it has been always an endeavor from each of us to take rock climbing a next step ahead, always, and every year possible. It could be a case that all of us know, some of us go to on-site, some of us switch companies or whatever, but this constant thing that keeps us together is TCS Maitri Adventure Club, and more precisely the rock climbing team out of it. We are no different team as such, but then the enthusiasts. So sometime back in 2008, we first began with some local bouldering sessions in Mumbai itself. After almost year-long hard practice, we went on to climb third most difficult rock face or pinnacle. You can call it as Vanarlingi or Khada Parsi. If some of you have been to Jivdan Fort, you can see Khada Parsi right across there. It's a 650 feet high pinnacle. It's a quite difficult route, has got almost 2,500 feet exposure on one side and quite a daunting task to climb it. TCS Trek team did it back in 2008. Then we had someone in the name of Sridhar Vaishampayan. He was a guy who has been constantly mentoring us. He has given us a graph kind of a thing that will allow us to define our objectives in terms of climbing. You do practice, you do go to climbs in outdoors, you learn yourself some skills that even a IIM or a IIT cannot teach you. These are the things, these are the scenarios that you practically face yourself. There were certain incidents which we have to tackle on a last minute basis. You cannot plan for those incidents. So the crisis management and all part that comes out of these all field activities. Then what Sridhar Vaishampayan sir told us is basically draw a chart that each year will take you to a different grade. Began with a basic grade set of pinnacles, practice them every year, go to them week in, week out, practice them, make them so familiar with you that you can even think of it in dream and yeah, this is the route and this is the south face, this is the north face, and that way. So this was first year. Then we took it further to second year. That is when we climbed Khada Parsi. After Khada Parsi, there were some transformations in team. Most of the technical members that were involved in the Khada Parsi climb had, fortunately or unfortunately, had moved out of the rock climbing part. They had taken up their own personal goals to follow or to pursue. So we had a set of new people who were taken up that dream. And last year was that day when in 25th or 28th of May, last year we, under the banner of TCS Maitri Trek team, climbed this beautiful rock face called as Duke's Nose. It's a 800 feet rock face from bottom, and the ledge where we started, it is graded in two different parts. The bottom half is called as the lesser severe one, that has a height of around 500 feet of climbing. The upper one is definitely a severe technical difficulty, that is 325 feet, close to 350 feet, or you can say 125 meters. So last year we did that in May. It was a team of 8-9 people. It was Sujit, Pratik, Bhumika, then Preeti, Sagar, myself, Vignesh, the guy who has switched back to Chennai, and Tilak, of course, one of my better half in climbing, I would love to call him. Yeah, so that is the history so far. Sir, you may like to add something?
You have to explain, no?
Okay, about the particular climbing day, that day we arrived around 7 o'clock in the morning at the same ledge. It's a bright sunny summer May vacation day. The sun was already showing his great mercy on us, and it being summer, there is no closer by water source, so we had to all the way take almost 18 or 20 liters of water bottles or cans or whatever stuff that we had to carry the water to back to village where we started. At least 2 load filling of the water, so that can be sufficient for the whole team for whole day's ration. So that is where the planning starts. So we split ourselves between climbing team and base camp team. Base camp team was further split into local base, that is this ledge, and the other team that was to procure water and further any resources out of food or ration that we needed. So two of us went down to villages to get those things. And rest of us started preparing here. It was around by 10 o'clock we reached the ledge. The ledge itself, the way to the ledge itself is such tricky that right after this initial 15-20 minutes walk, it's a complete exposure of around 1200 feet on your right side. And there is a U-turn that you have to take below the Duke's Nose's wall. So the whole route is basically roped up. That tells you the kind of trickery and basically complexity of the route. That even before you could start climbing, the approach itself is so difficult that one wrong step and you're simply gone. You're simply down in the valley. So that is how it began. It took almost 1.5 hours to shift all the necessary equipment and men basically to the actual climbing starting point, and then we decide ourselves a sequence in how we will climb. There were 3 people who were identified to climb on first day. Once the rope is set, basically the climbing happens in such a way. Can you see my hand?
Yes.
If this is the rock face, if this is the base, okay, if climber 1, that is lead climber, starts his climbing, the route is already bolted. It is being already done. It's not a new route. It's already fixed bolts. So what we have to do is, there is an equipment called as carabiner, you must have heard. So we have to clip those carabiners out of one bolt after the other, one bolt after the other. So the climber starts from the base. There are 2 ropes on him. The one is climbing rope and the other is cowtail. Now what do you understand by cowtail? Just split the word, cowtail. Gai ki pooch. So that rope has nothing to do with climbing. Climbing rope is attached to your harness and the cowtail is on your rear side. It is just clipped with a carabiner and has to run through completely without being clipped onto any carabiners. That is the rope which will be used as a top anchor for the climbers coming from down. So once the climber from base moves to a ledge, if this is the flattest surface available nearby, if climber 1 moves from base to ledge 1, he anchors himself. The bold thing I told you, we anchor our carabiners or rope or self anchors or tapes at that particular point, and from there climber 1, we call an action called as belays second man. So what does belay happen is, we put the rope mechanism in such a way that there is enough friction on the anchor point, and in case if the climber falls, that will be held by the guy on the top. That is the use of that cowtail. The cowtail will be anchored again onto the guy on the second who is starting. Also, the rope that has been passed on through each carabiner, each bolt, that is also there to secure him. So it's always a double safety. So in case if one fails, the other is there too. So that way we cover from point 1 to point 2. So 2 climbers arrive at point 1, at ledge 1. From ledge 1 again, lead climber starts. He attains ledge 2's height. Again the same process. So there are, out of that, I'll simplify something here. There are different styles of climbing. Some do free solo, in which a climber goes on his own without any protection. But these are done exclusively in Himalayas, higher Himalayas, because that requires basically ice or snow. So in those cases, people do climb free. Then there is something called as alpine style climbing. It is originated, obviously, as the word suggests, in Alps, in Europe. It consists of a very small team. If suppose 4 of us are climbing, there is no such base team as such. 4 of us carry sufficient rope with us, sufficient equipment with us, sufficient ration with us. We start climbing, 4 of us move together. Once the climber 1 moves, everyone comes to that point. All the loads are at that point. Then climber 1 moves further. Again, everyone comes up. Again, load moves up. That way it happens. So basically, alpine style climbing is a faster way of climbing, because you have to carry a very light set of equipment rather than a set of tents, 10 days ration, 15 days fuel, not required. And what we did that day, that was a mix of traditional and alpine style. At a particular point of time on face, we realized that our third partner is not able to come up to the level that we have already attained. So what we tell him is, be there at self-anchored. Once the cowtail is up to the summit, we will rappel down and we'll take you down. So after that, me and my climbing partner Tilak, we had submitted it in a short rope, that is alpine style climb. It was a short 35 meter coil between us, and that took us all the way to summit. So it was like attained in almost 7 hours or so. It's not really a great time because the best of the guys in the field do it in somewhere around 4 hours or so. And there were some tricky situations on the face that day. So it adds up around 2 hours here and there. So that's basically overall a good experience as an individual, because to stand on a ledge of around a feet, or not even a feet, rather 5 or 6 inches wide. There are special shoes called as PA shoes. Some of you must have seen in our national park program, in RNR session in Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Those shoes are so difficult to wear. They are actually the size of your toe and your feet. So they literally stick to your leg. So wearing those shoes, standing on that rock ledge of hardly 10 or 5 feet, 5 inches wide for hours and hours together, waiting for the other guy to come. Oh my God, is he here? No, he's not here. Wait, let me belay. Okay, he's here. Okay. So that way it develops your patience. It develops your attitude towards life. You start realizing the value of even a small drop of water. I realized it that day. We had a bottle, almost 2 liter full bottle of Bisleri, but on the way it was consumed in such a bad manner that almost by 80% of the climb finished, and we two of us were so thirsty. We shared even that 20% of the water among ourselves and kept it for further. So that shows you how compassionate you need to be about everything. It's not because we get it so sparsely, so you